cha, 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 Igbo kwenu, uwe. Cha, 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 Igbo kwenu, uwe. Cha, 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 Igbo kwenu, uwe. Abia kwenu, uwe. Anambra kwenu, uwe. Ebonyi kwenu, uwe. Enugu kwenu, uwe. Imo kwenu, uwe. Nigeria kwezuonu. Oh, thank you, Lord. Friends, families, and loved ones, all of you that are my ardent viewers, I salute you all. I guess you all had a successful activities earlier today. Welcome back home, friends. Okay, my name is Mazi B.O., a full-fledged Igbo son and teacher of Igbo language, culture, and traditions, including general issues that affect our lives, in society. Understand? The lives of the Igbo, the lives of the non-Igbo. I hope you people are really enjoying the lecture. Let's learn everything about the Igbo. Okay, please, if you do not forget or hesitate to subscribe to my channel for more informative, educative, and inciting or insightful lessons to learn about the Igbos. There are so many things you need to learn about a tribe called Igbo, called the Igbo. All right, today we're going to talk about some of the things considered as abominations or taboo in typical Igbo setting. Understand? So in Igbo land, there are some parts that have set out rules that govern how you should comport yourself in the community and outside the community, especially within the community, Igbo community, to be precise. Okay, so if anybody goes contrary to the set out rules and regulations, the person is considered as someone who has committed a taboo or an abomination. Understand? So those abominations, some of which I'm going to mention today, are strictly adhered in typical Igbo setting. One thing that really kind of makes some difference is that in some parts of the Igbo land, there are things that are not considered as abomination or taboo if and when anybody does them. And there are those things that are not considered as abominations or taboos in one Igbo, one part of the Igbo land, may be some things considered as abomination or taboo in one other part of the Igbo land. These Igbo people or this part of the Igbo land may not actually frown upon such behaviors, but in the other part of the Igbo is strictly avoided, strictly frowned upon when anybody goes contrary. If anybody infringes, against any of them, he or she has committed an abomination or taboo. So I have to list a few of them and talk about them here. Okay, on the list we have what we call incest. That's number one. We understand what incest means. I-N-C-E-S-T. Incest is simply about a man having carnal knowledge of his daughter, or a mother having carnal knowledge of her son, son having carnal knowledge, rather, a male child having carnal knowledge of his sister, vice versa. Brother-in-law, okay, sleeping with sister-in-law. That is when, as a man, or a young man, your brother has a wife, you have a married brother, get a wife who happens to be your sister-in-law, you go and have canon knowledge with her. That's taboo, where I come from, and in so many other parts of the Igbo. All right, then okay, we talked about fathers sleeping with their daughters, mothers sleeping with their sons, brothers sleeping with their sisters, vice versa. Then sister-in-law sleeping with their brother-in-laws. When you, as a married woman, sleep with your brother's younger or elder brother, that is your brother-in-law, that's taboo in many parts of the Igbo land, one of which is where I come from. Okay, that's incest. Then another one is angrily dislodging. Probably you are angry as a man. Then your wife has placed a pot of soup on the fire. Probably the time schedule, you're not pleased with the time schedule. Probably you would want to eat the food much earlier than when you got to, and notice that the food is still on fire. Angrily now kick that pot of soup, that pot of stew, that pot of rice, or any edible on the fire. That's a huge taboo in many Igbo land, which is mine is among those Igbo lands. Then another thing is, it doesn't necessarily matter whether the food is on the fire. It could be that the food has been set down or put down for the fire. Out of annoyance, it could be that what was cooked is not what you're instructed to cook as the man of the home, the general officer commanding, the GOC. Then it could be that your wife, it could be that who cooked it is your wife or your daughter, whoever that has cooked that food. It doesn't matter as long as the food is in the pot. If you angrily, intentionally kick it, that's a taboo. I know a lot of these things happen in civilized cities where many of us live. Nobody monitors, but if you do that in the hinterland, they are frowned upon. Okay, then another one is okay, now the stove itself, still on the cooking items. The stove, it could be the local stove. In the hinterland, what we usually see are tripod. You see the native tripod upon which pots and every other container is placed for cooking. Then kicking that very tripod stand where the items are placed upon for cooking, where you put your charcoal and firewood, is taboo. Then another one is swearing with that same local stove. Okay, it could be the native ones we have in the hinterland, kerosene stove, gas cooker, electric cooker. So whatever that it is that cooks is considered as one. Okay, so swearing with any of them is taboo in Igbo land. Okay, remember I said some of these things can be done in one particular part of the Igbo land. Anybody that has done it could go scot-free, but in some other parts of the Igbo land, you don't go scot-free. All right. Okay, now you're considered to have committed a taboo. Hitting one's father or mother, irrespective of the cause, no matter how angry you are, you slap or beat or kick or push your father or your mother. That's a very big taboo in Igbo land. Almost all parts of the Igbo abhor it. Okay, so this attitude is frowned upon in Igbo land in general. Okay, then another one is, I hope you people are really taking note of all this. Another one is wife beating up mother-in-law. The mother-in-law is usually the mother of a maiden who is married into a family. Once the maiden goes into that family, that woman who is the mother of her husband, her mother-in-law, becomes her own mother. The same way she would treat her own biological mother is also how she should treat her mother-in-law. So hitting your mother-in-law as a woman, that's a taboo in Igbo land. No matter what she has done, you don't raise your fist to hit her. Okay. Now, the other one is going to a farm, removing the crops there without the consent of the owner. Probably you want to do something on a piece of land, and you have seen that the piece of land contains crops that are still growing, unharvested crops. Angrily, because there's one disagreement, probably you feel the land belongs to you and someone encroached, then you wouldn't want to summon the Omonna, that's the kinsman, that's what Igbo call the Omonna, to put, to look into it. You just angrily go there and remove all the crops that are still growing. That is crops that are unharvested. That's taboo in Igbo land. Then another one is having carnal knowledge of an outcast, whether a man or woman, whether you are aware or not, is taboo. Then another one is causing one's mother or father, no matter the gravity of your anger. You don't have to do that. You have to hold yourself. You have to comport yourself in decorum. If you do that, then it's taboo. All right, when next we meet, we're going to talk about how taboo or an abomination are appeased, how the gods of the land are appeased so that one gets cleansed or purified. Okay, so we'll talk about it, about the purification, the appeasement, when next we meet. All right, bye-bye, friends. Have a good night rest. Love you all.